Good morning. This is TCR, TroyCommunityRadio.com. I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN. And time again for the Mayor's Report. And with us this morning is Mayor Michael Beamish.
Mayor Michael Beamish is here, and I got to start by telling a big thank you to Troy Community Radio for the coverage that they gave in many of the events and activities of this past weekend. And I'm sure we want to talk a little bit about that.
Oh, you mean the little
Just a
festival
little,
that
yeah.
we had, the Troy Strawberry Festival? Boy, what a good weekend. And the weather, oh my gosh, I can't remember the last time the weather was that perfect.
Well, I don't know who chaired the weather for Bruce Adamson, but I will tell you, whoever did deserves some kind of a plaque because it was beautiful. If it had to rain, it rained in the evening, nighttime hours.
Yes.
And I got to give a compliment. I got to give a compliment to all the Troy Strawberry Festival committee members for the job that each of them did in their respective events. But also, I have to say, the volunteers. You know, one of the things that make this festival go is the people that get involved, not only from their civic organization or nonprofit, but just to come out and help to make the festival run smoothly. And I would be,
especially when you think about how many volunteers it takes to make it work.
You know, you hear people that say they're leaving town and stuff, but really what makes that festival is community, and that means people have to contribute, and they do. And so I want to give a big shout out and thank you to not only the committee structure and Bruce and all the things he planned for, and the staff, but also the city staff. You know, people don't know there's a lot of behind the scenes workers that make that festival run so smoothly. And I want to give a compliment to the city staff as well for their operation of that weekend, but also the efficiency of which they maintain things. I'll tell you, Monday morning,
Monday morning when I came downtown,
yes.
There was almost no sign that the festival had taken place, except that the fountain was still strawberry red.
It's amazing that again, there's a compliment to the staff, both the chamber, the festival, and the city, working together in partnership. And boy, when you came down here, you wondered less than 24 hours earlier, there was a big, gigantic crowd. Sunday was wonderful, by the way. And again, I want to give a compliment to David DeNoyer and all the team here at Troy Community Radio for being out and about and covering some of the main events of the festival weekend. It was certainly going to be profitable for our nonprofits, our civic organizations who use these funds to deal with their goals and their mission for the year ahead.
Yeah, this is their main source for the majority of them that makes it possible for them to operate for the rest of the year.
Absolutely. So big shout out to all those who made this festival weekend just really a great weekend. And
well, you don't think of some of the city workers that would play a big role, but you've got electricians out here that set things up. They get the plumbing going. They get the streets cleared and or put together for the festival. There's just tons of people down here.
Well, and if we're going to talk, electricians obviously are park people, all that setup that goes in. But Tom Funderburg, I got to give a shout out to Tom. Tom coordinates all the facilities of the city and all the coordination of their interns, the workers. He's out here the whole weekend. People don't realize that's hard work, keeping things moving forward. And so a big shout out to Tom Funderburg for all his efforts from the city perspective, and certainly the staff at the Troy Strawberry Festival and the chamber, and everybody working together. That's what makes Troy is the partnerships of working together. But good weekend. Great weekend.
I know Lori and I gave our plates good coverage. We had cheesecake on there, the shortcake, and donuts, and chops, and there's so much good food.
It was a wonderful thing, and let's also say, let's don't minimize. We had a teen leadership Troy week where these are juniors heading into their senior year, there's 30 of them.
Wow.
30 this year.
That's a
that
big
wanted
class.
to participate, to understand our community better. And so they gathered, and this past Wednesday, they had Government Day with the city of Troy, and I had a chance to work with them. And I always ask our teens, as I do with our Mayor's Youth Council, what is good about Troy and what can be improved to keep us moving forward. And these are young adults that can provide good ideas for our future, and also talk about the things that we're doing well. And so I meet with them on this past Wednesday, and we did just that. They had their graduation, so to speak, from Teen Leadership Troy on Friday. And so they're heading into their senior year with a better understanding of their community.
And once you get in there and you meet with them, you kind of are able to pick up a different perspective or a different view on things from them as well.
Well, I always have believed that this community is for all ages, and so we need to listen to all ages. And so we have our 5th and 6th graders in the Mayor's Youth Council. We do the same exercise with them.
All
the
right.
teens, we do the same exercise. We listen to the Leadership Troy group, and then we also listen as we have 2 ears. A lot of people have good ideas, and I always like, if there's a problem, I'd like to listen to good solutions.
Well, if there's a problem, that's just it. Complaining about it doesn't do anything. It's all about solutions.
Absolutely.
And meeting somewhere on that. Thinking of meeting, you had council this past Monday?
We did have on June the 3rd, the day after the festival. A lot of us were a little glassy-eyed, but we were there. We only had 2 pieces of legislation, so I'll start with that, and then I want to talk about some of the presentations that we had during that evening. But we had 2 pieces. One was a resolution, and the resolution was pretty simple. We have lost a lot of local government funds over the years. Now, through good investments, good stewardship of taxpayer dollars, we've been able to maintain our project list, our street repairs, and we do have a lot of those. But we have also lost a lot of funds from the state. So one of the things that we were trying to do is support, there's legislation pending at the state Ohio Assembly, and so we wanted to send in our support for restoring the local government funds so that we can take that money and also put it to local use and good use. And that was emergency because that's what they're dealing with right now. And we had 7 members of council. We needed 7 people to pass that legislation, and it went 7-0. The other piece has been discussed some more, and that is a rezoning request on Peters Road. Many know that as the Denlinger property, the old Robinson property,
Okay.
and the possibilities of developing that area. And the first step of that is to rezone from a county zoning to a local zoning, which would be an R4 single-family residential zoning. And it's been through 5 readings, so we've listened to a lot of folks. Council did vote on it last evening, and it was voted 7-0 to move forward with that rezoning. So it was not emergency, but it was certainly given a lot of just due. Boy, now we had 3 presentations.
Okay.
And I got to talk about all 3. First of all, we have 3 new firefighter/paramedics. Now, when I say /paramedics, not many communities can boast that when a person goes out on a run, they can go out as a firefighter and be able to be well trained, or they can go out as a paramedic with maybe life-saving skills. And so when they go out on a run, they have both certifications. And we had 3 new firefighters, Luke Lindeman. Many people know that name in our community, and I watched Luke grow up, so it's really great to see him on the Troy Fire Department now. Cody Ross also joined us, as well as Corey Branscombe. These are 3 new firefighters/paramedics. They were introduced by Chief Matt Simmons, and I was able to present them with their shields. So,
Nice.
yeah, that was really a thought. And then that was the first presentation. Then the second one was really a heartwarming. You know, we've been doing this Rumpke of Ohio, City of Troy.
Oh, the recycling.
Quarterly. Thank you. You and I talk about it all the time. Recycling. Well, last night, for the first time, we do this quarterly. But look who's recycling. Here comes to the front of the podium a little 7-year-old girl, Libby Briggs. And I'm going to tell you, she's very articulate, very confident. We had a full house in the council chambers, and she just pounced right up there. And Mom Missy and Dad Jeremy were there with her. But she was named the quarterly recipient of Look Who's Recycling. And so we gave her a gift bag, and she liked the idea. We also put a coupon in there for Duckies ice cream. Now, any little 7-year-old kid, that's biggie. That's a biggie. So, you know, she's a good steward. What is neat is she's a role model, and I'm hoping that I can bring her back to one of our radio shows.
Oh, it would be great.
She, as a 7-year-old, could talk about why recycling is so important to her and our environment. So
I like that idea.
It's something we do quarterly, and Libby was the recycling, 7 years old.
7 years old.
So,
well, it's a good thing. Good habits start young.
Yes. And in our final presentation of the evening was from, everybody knows Justin Kobe. He's the director of the Health Partners Free Clinic in Troy. But he came and he had information and a research partnership project with Wright State University looking at our Troy community, looking at the needs of our Troy community. And Justin obviously always does a fine job of presenting. And he talked about a food desert. Now, I have to admit, I was not familiar with that term. But what it means is they look at the areas of our Troy community where people would have a hard time getting to a grocery store if they didn't have the right transportation.
Okay.
So this whole study looked at the whole idea of Troy, had some statistics, shared some of the concerns, but one of the things is, and I think we're going to work on this, is if you live in the downtown area and you don't have transportation, a grocery store is a hot commodity. The closest would probably be going out to either Sherwood or Kroger's or Myers, and that's a long walk either way. So one of the things is we're looking forward to having Herons come down to downtown Troy. That might fill that need and that gap for a food desert in this area. We have great small businesses. I don't want to minimize that, but they're the backbone of our community, but they have different retails. Not necessarily do they have food retail. So Justin brought that to our attention. So we think we're working on that. Main Street's aware of it, and the City of Troy's aware of it, as well as the Chamber is aware of it. So
well, I'm certainly looking forward to Herons being open in the downtown, because when I get off work, it's probably going to be filling a space on my grill for lunch most days.
Well, everybody knows he has great reputation. He's got great work ethic. Coming downtown, I think, is going to be an asset to our community in our downtown area, and I think he's hoping to open up yet late this summer. So we'll all look forward to that, and that will maybe free up what they call a food desert in this area.
It'll be nice to have a place that you could go downtown, pick up a gallon of milk, and some of the supplies that you need, maybe that gets you through till you need to make the big trip to the big store.
That's right. So,
all right. Something else that happened this week. Well, we got the sneak peek during the Strawberry Festival down at the new Troy Hospital Kettering Health Network, but it's now officially has had its ribbon cutting.
Well, we had our ribbon cutting on Thursday at 1:30, and that certainly is a good sign to kick off. They had said 2 years ago, when this all got thought through and started with the groundbreaking, we were wondering, can you get this up and running in 2 years or less? Well, they're right on target.
It doesn't even seem like it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
It just seems like, boom, there it was.
And if you didn't get a chance to be a part of the sneak preview, they're going to have an open house. And the open house is this Sunday, June the 9th. They'll start at 1:30 and they'll have people there until 4:30. And you can take a walk through, see what the inside of the hospital looks like. You know they've worked out really hard on the landscaping. But I guess it's just a beautiful site, both outside and inside. It's going to offer another opportunity for good health care in this, not only this community, but throughout this region and county.
It certainly has been a beautiful addition aesthetically. I love the landscaping. I love the look of the building and the whole setup. So while Hobart filled such a need there at that property for so many years, it's great to see that being utilized now once again.
You know, a big thank you should go out for the ITW Hobart, the Troy Development Council, the City of Troy, all working in partnership and finding the best suit for that particular area. And Kettering Health Network stepped to the plate, and now we have a Troy hospital.
Once again. Love it. A couple things we can look forward to. One, happening right now, first day on Cherry Street. The farmers market's back in business.
We're back in business, and we'll be here through the summer and into September. And boy, you know, it'll just continue to grow as the crops come out. And so I certainly encourage people to come down to beautiful downtown Troy and participate every Saturday morning with the farmers market.
And looking ahead one more week, we've got the Sculptures on the Square coming next weekend.
I've been blessed to be a part of the Sculptures on the Square committee since its inception. And I'll tell you, this is going to be another one of those great events. We do this every couple years, and Seward Johnson is coming back to us. And we have so many sponsors of those sculptures. And so they're going to be spread out throughout the downtown. We expect tour buses. We expect people to just come and walk around and see the sculptures. In fact, we've had a promo with the Hainer Cultural Center with the Beyond the Frame sculpture that's out in front of Hainer. So we know that kind of whets the appetite. Mm-hmm. And you know, like you said, in middle of June, we're going to start seeing Seward Johnson's pop up. In fact, we just finished talking about Kettering Health Network. They are the sponsor of the Beyond the Frame sculptures. They too will have a Beyond the Frame sculpture on their location coming up in a week.
It just seems like it all comes so fast.
And then let's talk about all the different events, the concert series on the square, the concert series and the events that take place at Treasure Island Park. You know, that park has certainly bloomed and blossomed in terms of the activities, both on the river as well as in the park itself. I'm very happy about seeing activities for people of all ages to enjoy here in our Troy community.
I have to say, I only have one complaint about Treasure Island, and I was going down there for the 4th of July to watch fireworks, and it used to be so quiet, and it was just me, and now everybody's figured it out and they go down there. It is such a great place.
And we got that coming up.
I know.
Too. and it's interesting to see how many people get on the river now.
Yeah.
And actually watch the fireworks from the river. So, it's something that I've always believed in. I believe in culture. I believe in recreation. I believe in the downtown. And you put all those packaged together with our park system, and it does give people of all ages an opportunity to participate and to be a part of what I think is a great community.
The next thing that I'm really looking forward to seeing is when I see one of those shoal tents.
Oh, and see, there is a local entrepreneur.
I know.
Ethan Smith, a local guy, went to school here, and he's an inventor, and came up with this and is now spread internationally.
Yes.
Everybody's showing an interest in his creativity. And so it starts right here in Troy, Ohio, USA. and along
Absolutely.
the Great Miami River.
You gotta love it. Mayor, is there anything else you'd like to add in this morning?
Oh my, we've covered the bases. We
I think
always
we-
do.
yes, we
You
do.
know, I gotta say something, Clint. I really do appreciate coming here. You know, David does such a good job, and you do such a good job. And the two of us, we can just talk. And hopefully the people who are listening can realize we're genuine when we talk, and we
It
are
is.
spontaneous back and forth. That is something I've always appreciated, our relationship, and the people here at Troy Community Radio, what they do to promote our beautiful community and the county and this region is something I'm very thankful to be a part of.
I'll tell you what, I think that's part of what makes Troy so good, and it's those relationships all over town.
Thank you. I
Brings
appreciate it.
everyone together. Thank you so much, Mayor. Mayor Mike Beamish, this has been the Mayor's Report. I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN.